Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Today, as you'll see, we are going to be driving Train Sim World 2. We're going to be on the Dresden... I can't remember what the other place is called and I'm really sorry, I should know this. But today we're going to be driving on the Dresden route. And as you can see, Talent 2, this is our service. Let's get on with it. Now, of course, you should all know by now that, let's get the train set up. Right. Yeah, you should all know by now that, the Dresden route was, of course, released in, Master Key, put it forward, why not, and do the, doors, cool, yes, the Dresden route was released as part of the rush hour, upgrade, I guess, for Train Sim World 2, and yeah, it's well, let me get into the fact. I'm sorry I've taken so long to actually do this video. First of all, it wasn't my intention to leave it this long. We'd better get going. But just look at this station, by the way. Look at the flipping. This is immense. Honestly, this is a immense asset. My game is frozen because it's completed an instruction, and that's fun. This is just crazy though, honestly. I love this station. Dresden looks amazing. And I think DTG actually did a really good job with it. Anyway, right, so we're in release brakes. Particular release. Right. Let's get moving. So yeah, Train Sim World 2 rush hour upgrade, yeah. You'll know by now, obviously, I don't really drive any stuff that isn't UK based. But actually, I think that this is one of the best routes that just trains, good grief, the DTG have actually produced for Train Sim World 2. And I'll explain why. It's a simple reason. It's the amount of services you get. Honestly, the amount of services, sort of scenarios and sort of differences that you can do with this route is literally insane. Normally, the problem with DTG, Train Sim, is that they choose routes that are very linear. And sometimes you might have a bit of a mix of commuter and express and a little bit of freight here and there. But normally it's a little bit underwhelming, sort of what they produce. And I've just remembered I've got my lights, so let's sort that out now. Train lights on, headlights, high beam. There we go. But with this route, honestly, you get so much with it, and you can do so much with it. So I can't remember every train. I'm not really into German stock, so I apologise. I won't go through everything because I'll forget. But there's so many trains you can drive with this. You've got your Talent 2. You've got your what else comes with it? You got that freight loco, the black one. And again, I can't remember what they all are, so I apologise in advance. You got your black freight loco. There's the old container. There's another passenger loco. Again, I'm not being very descriptive, so I apologise. You got your cab car, which you can obviously drive for your double deckers, your train, your passenger runs. You got the shunting loco. What was it? 327 or something, I want to say. That sounds entirely wrong, so I apologise. But then you've also got extra layers. So you've got Kolnacken, which introduces the ICE into this. You've got the 182, the DBVR 182 DLC loco add-on, which introduces a few services for that train. Which is so nice to have something to drive with that, by the way, because I actually have that DLC. I bought it because I obviously own the Rapid Transit, and I thought, yeah, let's buy the loco. I'm probably not going to use it much, but let's buy it nonetheless. So yeah, I own it. It's so nice to actually have something proper to drive it on. It doesn't feel right, I'm afraid. Rapid Transit. I'm not saying it's not what they do, stop-start runs and all that, but it just doesn't feel right, particularly. But on this, you've got a proper sort of semi-fast service to do with it, and it just feels so right to drive it on that. You know, it's a good sort of 50-minute, hour service, and It's great, honestly. I've not driven an ICE, but I have seen them, and no doubt we'll see a few. The timetable is really busy. There's, you know, you're always seeing trains everywhere. And I'm sure we'll see one. It's not really proving the point at the moment, because we've not seen much. And there wasn't actually anything sitting in, what's his face either? Dresden. Train lines. Turn them on, please. I thought I'd turned them on before, but I appear to have done a lot. Okay. So yeah. Right, turn them off. Turn them back on again. Has that done anything? Ambient announcement. A whir. Wow, okay, it's not actually turning the lights on. I'm sure that's the interior lights, the train lights. Right, let's go again. Oh, actually, hang on, let's not go again. That's not a good idea, not on a red signal. I'll re-release the doors, I think. What am I missing? Pantograph. Pantograph should be up anyway, but... I mean, we have been moving. But you know where DTG goes. Tempo mat. I don't know what that is, I'm afraid. Is that like speed set? Oh, it must be a speed set type thing. Train lights on, cabin lights on, reading lights on, reading lights off on, Sanders headlights. That's the door close button. Reading lights, instrument lights, guard buzzer. Doesn't seem to make much noise, but maybe it does in the back cab. Who knows? We're still on a red at the moment. I need to pop up my... I've got to try and remember which one it is. There we go. Cool. Because I can't really read German signals, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. I think German signals are slightly easier to read than American ones, because American ones are a bit all over the place. They can be yellows and reds and I don't know. There's something weird about German signals anyway. American signals, sorry. But then again, like I say, German ones aren't much better, so... oh look, here we go. It's trains. So yeah, of course you've got your rush hour features as well. So you've got all your passenger upgrades, and yeah, the main thing about the passengers is obviously the density of them. Right, close the doors. I love the fact that with the passengers, they actually spawn in on stations now. They don't all just sort of run onto the station just as you're leaving the platform, sort of thing, like they normally do. On this, you actually pull into the station and then there are already passengers waiting for you. Can we just comment on the Can we just comment for a second that the lighting on this is absolutely terrible as well? It's really dark for some reason, and I'm not liking it one bit. But anyway, oh, I am using a couple of mods. I will or modifications. Not all mods. I modified my settings slightly. But yeah, there's a couple of modifications which I've made to the game to make it look a tiny bit prettier. So there's there was an article that came around a while ago that sort of explained how to do a load of stuff. And some of it was about making trees render further away from you, sleepers render further away from you, removes the distance fog as well. And also, I've got a skybox mod running. I can't remember who made it, but he's all over the place. So, but apparently, the skybox mod's going to be part of the base game soon. Anyway, so you know, woohoo! So, but yeah, but no, this route is honestly so busy, and there's so many different types of service you use. You've got your freight. You've got your express on the ICEs. You've got your commuters and the Talent 2s. You've got your semi-fast with the double-decker coach straights. You've got obviously the main sort of fast route, the avoiding lines. You've got the this route that we're going to go down. So the routes with all the stations on it, the passenger lines, the slow lines. There's a bit beyond Dresden, actually, that's there for the convenience of the S2. I'm going to well overshoot this platform because I'm an idiot. There we go. I should have put more brake on to start, to be honest. I didn't want to overdo it, but it would have been better to put more. Oh well. Oh well. The passengers. One of the best things about the passengers is definitely the palletization, and all of that of the clothes they're wearing. There's a lot more variation in what they wear now. See, look, you got red jackets, yellow jackets, and obviously you got people wearing the same clothes. Like these two, I think might be. Oh no, they're different models. But it does make it look a lot more varied, to be honest. It makes it look a lot more varied. And I've actually noticed because of the whole thing I was mentioning where people spawn in on the platforms, the trains actually are becoming fuller as well. They seem to be. Of course, they've updated the actual maximum amount of passengers available anyway. So you can have 200 passengers on your platforms now. So that sort of helps a bit. Probably could be a bit busy, to be honest. Maybe 500 to 1,000 might be more appropriate at some stations. I get obviously they've got to optimise it, so they've got to have limits. But you know, they certainly could have more passengers at certain stations, especially like termini stations, for example. And also, a lot of the time in Trenton World, you'll notice that a lot of passengers seem to spawn in on the start of the route, and then they'll get off at the first or second station. I don't think I've seen quite as much of that, to be honest. They seem to even out when they get off a little bit more. But it would be nice if there were higher priority stations where passengers would get off at, sort of thing. So, for example, if you're going into London, there's certain stations along your routes that passengers get off at. So, say any station with a London Underground interchange, for example, they're always a lot more popular than stations that are just houses, sort of on the way in the rush hour. Vice versa, on the way out, you get a lot more people joining at stations with interchanges to other lines, services, and all that than you do at stations with houses, literally just villages and stuff. And obviously that transfers over to all the other countries as well. Don't worry, I'm not just saying the UK is where it happens, because obviously if you pull into a station and you've got a busy terminus, you're going to expect a lot more people hanging around on the station than a little country station in the middle of nowhere, aren't you? And the game does actually do a little bit of that, I've noticed, but each platform doesn't really seem to have much variation to it. So that would have been nice to have a bit more variation. But, you know, just because it has 200 people doesn't mean the game always uses 200 people. So you won't always see a platform completely crammed with people. For example, look, that station there only had about 3 people on it. Apparently the passengers will also only spawn in if there's a train queue. Apparently about 5 minutes before a train queue, people will start spawning in. So if you go past a station where there's a train just left, or there's like half hour till the next train arrives, you're not going to see any people. But if you go through a station that has a lot of people, has a lot of trains, and there's a train coming due soon, then yeah, you probably will see people waiting on the platform for their trains. But yeah, going back to the trains themselves, they're brilliant, honestly. There's so much you can drive, and the sounds on the Tama 2 are significantly better to what I remember they used to be in Rapid Transit, to be honest. It's actually drivable now. It's nice. Apart from the horn. The horn is horrendous, and I absolutely detest the horn with all of my power. If that's even a phrase that we can use, but whatever. With all of my power it is. I have the power to detest horn. That is what I will do. Now that might be how they actually sound, to be honest. I don't know, I've never actually heard it sound to, but you know, I just don't like them. I really don't like the sound. It's too squealy. It doesn't sound like a horn at all. It sounds like something. I think there's 325 drivable services in this game, plus any extras that are like AI only. So So there's an awful lot to do, and like I say, there's so many different different directions you can go, different services you can do in this route. I honestly think that this is one of the best routes that DTG ever produced as far as playability is concerned. And it looks nice, don't get me wrong, it looks very nice. Apart from being ridiculously dark, and I hate that about it, but nonetheless, that's Train Sim World for you, because Train Sim World doesn't know how to do lighting at all. Like, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but the lighting in Train Sim World 2 is actually horrendous half the time. You get some nice ones, sort of evening and morning, yeah, you can get some nice ones there, but during the day, it's way too dark. It's ridiculous. Like, it wouldn't be this dark. I get it's September in the game, and it is in real life, but nonetheless, I do get it's September, but it wouldn't be this dark. You know, it's the middle of the day nearly, so there'd be more light in the sky than that. If you look at how bright the sky is, it doesn't correlate to how dark the ground is. You know, it's unrealistic. I don't like it too much. So it'd be nice if we had some lighting upgrades in DTG. I don't know why my game's lagging. It's probably because I'm recording, and that's the thing. I usually, normally, I'm getting about 20 frames average at the moment. Normally I seem to get around 30 frames, 30 to 40 on this route. I've driven it a few times, because again, I really like it. But yeah. Oh, we're going all the way across, are we? Oh, okay. Fair enough. Got 120 limit going up. Cool. 3 points. Oh, there goes. That's the high speed lines going off. I think that's the fast lines, I believe. Coswick, 2 kilometers. Right, we got to slow down. 27, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 20. Cool. Down in time. Well, we're down in plenty of time. Oh, okay. Bit more braking, moving it down to 100 now. I'm probably going to be a bit fast, to be fair. Yep. Kilometre to Coswick, cool. We can speed up theoretically. Oh, we can't speed up anyway because of the speed limit coming down. No problem, I wasn't going to anyway because obviously we're slowing to the station now anyway, so. But yeah, as far as playability of this route is concerned, honestly, it's amazing. It's incredible what they've done with it. They really need to sort of build on this rush hour timetable thing because it's not good enough, to be honest. Well, I say that makes it sound like I'm really ungrateful, and I'm not, because DTG Train Sim World is actually a really nice game, and I do enjoy playing it. A lot of people obviously prefer Train Sim Classic, and yeah, don't get me wrong, it's really is the better game of the two. If you want a simulation experience. But Train Sim World 2, you know, it's a nice game to sort of sit in and play. Because I do a lot of development for Train Sim Classic, so I use Train Sim World as sort of a complete getaway from that. So I do enjoy Train Sim World, and I like the features it holds over Train Sim. Or the ones, you know, the ones that aren't available on TS Classic, like the walking, for example, or the graphic settings. So yeah, there's a lot I respect about Train Sim World. Cool. But yeah, no, because if you look at the way that sort of the UK and the US have been treated in this thing, there's not much stock that you can drive on any route, particularly. You know, they make plenty of stuff to go along. but they don't really make it interchangeable with other routes for us. Whereas with Germany, obviously it helps that a lot of the stock in Germany is pretty samey everywhere you go. You know, there seems to be a lot of places in Germany that use more or less the exact same stock. So that significantly helps with the development. You know, you build one train and you can use it in 3 different routes. You know, of course they're going to use it in 3 different routes if they can. Get the most out of it, make the most money off it potentially. You know. So I think a lot of, I don't know if any of these German trains that we get are actually new. I'm not sure which ones are new and which ones are just reused. I know obviously the Talent 2 is semi-reused. It's been upgraded since the last version of the Talent 2. Every time they do it, they always seem to upgrade some of the features and, of course, mess about with the configuration of it. So they make all the different variants of the Talent 2, which is brilliant. It's good that they do all that. But you know, it significantly reduces the effort and development time and money, I guess, to make a product. So, and obviously with all these locos, so the 182 for example, we've had that for donkey's years in Train Sim World. And you know, they're still just able to just slot it in. The 101, I imagine's probably got some services on it. I don't know if that's true for a fact, because I don't actually have the 101. Maybe I should get it, to be honest, just to see. But you know, if there's anywhere where that's applicable along here, no doubt DTG would have actually supported it. Boston Sprinter though, I really don't like the Boston Sprinter route that DTG produced. Sure, it might be a pretty route, but it's extremely linear. There are 2 trains you can drive, plus 1 cab car. You know, it's not enough to keep you wanting more, wanting to come back. Something like Glasgow Cathcart, for example, that's great. You've got 4, I guess, entirely different services which you can drive. 3 entirely different, and 1 which is like the other way. But you know, you can go to Neilston, you can go to Newton, is it? Something like that, I think. I'm completely forgetting now. You can go around the Cathcart loop both directions, you know. As much as it's only 1 train, you can take it out on multiple routes. You know, you've got 4 routes which are different immediately, which you can do. And then you can do them, obviously, do the 2 terminating ones in bi-direction. So you can do them both ways. So, you know, there's loads to do in there. Something like, I mean, even the West Coast, the East Coast way, for example, that's not a great route, sure, but the playability of it is alright, to be fair, because you've got the branch line to Seaford as well. But something like London to Faversham, for example, I don't like London to Faversham. I've never really been a fan of it. It's not because I don't like the route or the fact that the high speed engine. I don't like the fact that you can only use half the route with most of the stock that runs on it. You can only go to Ebbsfleet, well, you can only go to Gravesend and Faversham with the Network Rail stuff. Half the route is taken up by 1 train only, the Javelin. So you don't get a lot out of it. It feels a bit, you only just sort of get into driving that route in the Network Rail stuff before you're at the end, I find. And there's no branch lines to keep you entertained on that either. You can't do a complete service on anything. It just seems a bit sort of a bit unfinished and not really playable. Doesn't make you want to come back. But something like this, yes, there's loads of different trains on loads of different routes, and you know, all that. Like, we've been waiting the East Coast Way for a 313 for a very long time now. Sort of since it was announced, there was word floating around in the air that the 313 might be on the cards one day. So why is it taking them so long to do it when all this German stuff exists on this route? You know, you can drive 2 trains, the 377 and the 66 on the East Coast Way, and that's it. Where's the rest of it? you know, I'm not saying that the East Coastway has a lot of stock, but I want to be able to make use of my route on multiple different trains, using multiple different types of traction, and doing different services with them, you know. Build something once and use it many times, sort of thing. That's the way I prefer. The more you can drive on one by only building one thing, the better. The more you can do with it, the better. So you get more out of your money, and obviously more out of your time as well. You don't want to be driving the same thing over and over and over again necessarily. Unless of course you like that. It might be something you really like and then go for it. But you know, the average person doesn't want to be driving a Talent 2 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down on the exact same route every day. They want to be able to interchange with all different stock, try out different things. So the fact that there's so much which you can do in this Dresden route, it's amazing. And honestly, on that note alone, I would honestly say that this is one of the best routes that DTG have ever produced. And not just the fact that it's rush hour, but the rush hour does help, and I can't wait to see the rush hour passenger features added to the rest of it. To be honest, I think some people say that that the passenger features weren't important at all for this game, and it's a complete waste of time. Personally, I think that the passenger features are one of the most important parts of this game. This game is built so you can like do continuous operation. You can experience a day in a life of almost, going backwards and forwards along the same bit of line. And a lot of it is short routes. What do you get on short routes? Commuter trains. What do you get on commuter trains? Commuters. It makes a lot of sense to pair the two hand in hand in order to produce a product which binds specifically to that thing. So the Bakerloo line, for example, you know, that's a high intensity route, you know, and it's got a lot going on. It needs to be fast paced and carry a lot of people. And if you're not carrying a lot of people, you kind of think, why am I bothered? You know, if there's nobody to ride my train, might as well not bother. But at least with this, if you've got people riding the trains, you can look in the coaches full up, and it's more satisfying, I personally think, to see a train full up. It's great to be able to drive it, sure, but if you've got no purpose of driving it, then what's the point of doing it, sort of thing, you know what I mean? The game's just suddenly pinged to about 30 frames, which is interesting. I don't know what was causing the lag. We probably never will. But nonetheless, it's nice now. Well, tile loading appears to have increased. The stutter for that, but whatever. I guess small sacrifices. I guess. I don't know. I like the train though. Looking more at sort of the actual details. Yeah, it's a nice train. It looks good. The delivery has been applied really well. The decals on it. The decals on it are brilliant. You know, they're so high resolution. It's ridiculous. I'll get out of the train in a sec when we get to the next station and we'll have a look. Actually, no, look, you can see pictures, sure, but I've got no issues with that, really. It's good enough, certainly. So, it's very high resolution, you can read everything, it's all nicely done, it looks prim and proper, you know, I like it, man. There's a tiny bit of weathering on the bottom. I know weathering's always a hot topic, because we always want it, and companies don't want it, they don't want to make their train too dirty, but it's always appreciated when there is a bit of weathering. So the trains are actually used of these. Like, because if you look at the American route, rushing hour. I've got what it's called now. I had it a little while ago. If you look at that, apparently there's a difference between the Amtrak service and the other service. The Amtrak didn't want any snow on the top, but the other one was like, yeah, sure, go for it. So, you know, as you get built up with snow, it's going on the Amtrak. So it shows you how different companies for their licenses and stuff. So, I don't know, it's always pretty difficult. Kilometre basically. Get to slowing down, shall we? Bit more brake. Must be up by that building, I reckon. The station then. So yeah, to be honest, I might not even bother doing a video on the Boston Sprinter route. There's the name for it. There you go. Yeah. Because it doesn't really interest me at all. I was going to do it when it came out, and I was going to do this earlier as well. So I apologise for not doing this any earlier than I have done. But you know, I've been quite preoccupied with other things. So in real life, so yeah, it's kind of went by the wayside a bit. I've not had much time to sit down and record videos, so I apologise. But hey, I'm doing it now. And there's also obviously the Alan Thompson yes, King's Cross to King's Lynn route, all the Kings. So I'll probably have to try and do a video of that at some point. I know that's a bit late, but you know, we can still do one, especially if you want it. But yeah, no, this route is so much better than the Boston Sprinter, so much better. And I think as far as functionality is concerned, the route itself, I think this is actually going to be better than London Commuter, or whatever they're calling it, the Brighton Main Line route that they're doing. So there's going to be many more trains, much more variation, and I think it's just going to be an overall more enjoyable experience to drive this than the Brighton Main Line route. We're actually early now, that's also good. I really wish it wasn't so dark though. It's horrible being so dark. There we go. Thumbnail. Right, look at the doors closed, shall we? I think they're going to go down another branch line now. It'd be nice to be fair as well, because DTG are also working on a little extension for this. I can't remember exactly what the extension is for now, but there is a little extension for this route coming, so that'll be nice to see when that's launched. Oh, and side note, the pantographs also go up and down, the wires move up and down the bridges and stuff, so that's also cool. Do you see the difference in all the passengers though? Like there's a light blue jacket there, there's a yellow jacket there, there's a red jacket there, there's a green jacket there, there's blacks and browns, and the trousers are all different. You know, look how much more alive the platforms actually look. It's great. I love it. It was definitely needed. So thank you so much, DTG, for actually doing this. Because the passenger upgrade was something we needed. And again, I reckon once it comes to all the rest of the preserve collection routes, passenger carrying is going to be a well sort of satisfying experience. Stuck to 60, are we down this? Oh no, okay, it goes up to 100. Cool. We go onto the fast line in a bit. I think that might even be it there. You can very much tell this is Bombardier though. This train, Talent 2. It sounds very Bombardier in the motors. Right, power off. want me to do another video on this route, in something else, maybe the ICE or the 182, or you can do the S2 service, maybe. I don't know. Anything you want to see, let me know, because I'm not promising I'll do anything, because it took me long enough to produce this video. But you know, if I get time and I fancy doing it, I'll definitely want to do another video on this route, because this route's great. And again, there's enough sort of to go on. There's enough trains around. You can go to the end of the route, get out your train, wait for one to come the other way, and then take that over. And then go back, or ride back, or whatever. Anything you want to do. So... Yep, that is the morning for the 60. Cool. Well, at least being early at the last station, we know we're not going to keep any trains held off at the other end of the track line. But I think this is where the extension's being built off of anyway. I'm pretty sure this is where the extension's being built off. I'm also pretty sure this is the last station we're approaching, so yeah. Now, of course, talk about the price for the rush hour. It's $24.99 for each route individually, or you can pay $34.99 for the rush hour season pass. Which, of course, the season pass entitles you to all three of the routes, and obviously the two that are out already will be downloaded immediately after purchasing the season pass. And the Brighton mainline will be available for you if you purchase the season pass as soon as it's actually released. The other thing I like about the season pass, to be fair, rather than including it as a core part of the game, is that with the core pass of the game that we got before, you actually can't uninstall Sandpatch Grade or the other one. Colnacken. You actually can't install either of them, and I'm not bothered about driving either of them. So to be honest, it wouldn't bother me if I uninstalled them much. I might keep Colnacken now, to be fair, for the sake of the ICE to use as AI for this route. But yeah, turn that off. Train lights on. Lock the doors, right, and now we'll key out, and we'll leave the train, and this should be the end of the route. Lovely! So yeah, but for the, let's have a look at what we did. Cool. We didn't do too bad. A few bits we were speeding, but oh well. Cool. I'm level 133, so you can tell I've played this game quite a bit. But yeah, no. So as far as the value of it goes, it's a lot better value for money if you buy the season pass. So if you ever do decide to play the extra routes, then they're all there for you already. And like I say, I actually, despite the fact I have no interest in sort of non-UK stuff at all, I honestly would recommend this route. Because with the extra layers as well, it just adds so much to it. It's so playable. It's ridiculously playable. And that makes it brilliant. And honestly, I love it. So yeah. I guess I'll leave it there for today. That's the end of the route. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope to see you in the next video. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye!